Tbilisi is often known as a poster child for inflationary metrics in Georgia, and while much of the ideation against Tbilisi is overblown, I'm going to give you the exact rundown of how much things cost here in Tbilisi, Georgia, and what you can do to lower your costs here. Hello and welcome back to the Traveling Reports. Today we're going over the cost of living here in Tbilisi, Georgia, and how exactly Tbilisi has changed over the past few years. Now, often with these sorts of videos, there is no verification, there is no, pricing and so forth that is able to be shown. However, for me, I have lived here for a few years in the past. I moved here part-time in October of 2022. I am presently here again on some business and to create some jobs here. And of course, I will get into that maybe perhaps later when I am not in the process of hiring. But of course, living here, I understand exactly what all is going on and how things operate within the Georgian economy. And of course, within the Georgian economy, there is a lot of different subsections. And if you want me to go over how different regions and different areas operate, feel free to comment down below or subscribe and you'll see it the first thing if it comes out. That said, into Tbilisi's cost of living. Now, often with the villages, what you get is you get the same stores, right? You get the same supermarket chains. So honestly, cost of living in terms of groceries, things like this are largely similar. And so you'll get, a carton of milk, right? A liter bottle of milk for 3.5 lari, 3.9 lari, in that range. You will get, a bread for 1.4 lari. You will get, a lobiani for 3.5 lari roughly now, which actually is significantly higher than it was. So lobiani is more expensive now. That said, I would like to go over more specific things that, of course, are unable to be really verified based on just overall going to a website and clicking a few buttons, right? Because you can look at, for instance, Ori Nabiji's websites or two-step from Georgian to English, and you can learn about those sorts of prices. But oftentimes it's harder to find things like the cost of living in terms of apartments and so forth. And so this is what I will provide to you. So first of all, let's get into living places. So if you are looking for a one-bedroom apartment in center like this one, and you are in the expat crowds, you're looking at about anywhere from 1,700 lari down to about 12 to 1,400 lari, depending on how much you negotiate. However, this one my friend ended up getting, and of course it is fairly nice, fairly modern, so he is paying a premium. But you can get cheaper apartments, even in center. And if you want to go a little bit outside of center, you're looking at the range of about 1,000 lari, maybe down to 800 lari for a single bedroom. Which, of course, if you look at the economic cost towards Georgians, is extremely high. However, Tbilisi is unique in that it does have, for instance, the American Embassy, which pays very well. You also have people living in Tbilisi from Russia, from Armenia, where they do have more money. So there's a little bit of an imbalance there. One ride on the metro, depending on whether you are using a foreign card or a domestic card, will be anywhere from 1 to 1.5 lari, which I'll put up the US dollar to lari. It's about 2.7 to the dollar. So, of course, I won't be making my editor do exactly every calculation for me, but I appreciate that she takes the time to edit my videos. So yeah, comment down below if you want to give her any feedback on what you'd like to see edited as well. So that said, private transit, you're looking at about 7 to 10 lari to get around Tbilisi. Now this is from, for instance, here in, right now I'm in roughly, I would say near the river. Actually, I'm right over the river, as you've seen in prior videos, but it is a street called Levan Gotua, and further you can go to about the public service hall near the intersection of Vera and Avlavari for right around 7 to 10 lari from here. Now you can also go to the airport for roughly 25 lari. This has gotten significantly more expensive here in 2025. It used to be that you could go around the city even 2 years back for pennies on the dollar in comparison to today. Now, of course, this is something that was expected, so to speak, but yeah, for sure, Georgia has gotten more expensive in private transport. A liter of petrol is roughly around $1, right, per liter, which is 2.7 lari. Sometimes it fluctuates above that. Sometimes it's 2.8, 2.85. It depends on the day itself because it does float. But obviously, petrol is actually fairly inexpensive. To buy a property here in Tbilisi nowadays, it's still right around $1,500 to $2,000 per square meter, and I intentionally use dollars here because real estate is not priced predominantly in lari. That said, of course, with the fluctuations in cost of living, there is a unique situation here in Georgia, and as time goes on, I realize just how much more expensive it has gotten. It is still a fairly inexpensive country, and I recommend, if you are a digital nomad or someone who is looking to hire great talent, for sure check it out, see if you like it. And of course, if you need help with moving here to Georgia, or you need help opening a bank account, spending time here, feel free to reach out, book a call, 15 minutes, one-on-one, absolutely free. I would be more than happy to help you in that regard. If you want to join me on this journey of internationalization and globalization, feel free to subscribe. If you liked this video, feel free to give it a like. If you really liked this video, feel free to share it with your friends. This has been the Travel Report, signing off.